Hello, what is up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Maxi here, and I am back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario vs Donkey Kong for the Game Boy Advance. So, last time we basically just managed to win through Mario Toy Company, which is the first world in the game, and despite the fact that we actually did manage to mess it up on World 1-3, but in the end we actually got all the stars throughout during that particular world. So today for this episode is the fact that we are moving on to the next world in this game, which appears to be Donkey Kong Jungle. So once again we are going back to the jungle environment ever since during the forms of Donkey Kong 94 for the Game Boy. Except rather than just becoming like the black and white world, instead it's now full color, as well as digitized kind of like sprites or something like that. It's kind of hard to explain because it has been 2 days ago since I actually last played this, because obviously since that some Toy Sales is now still carry on playing through Klonoa 2, Lunati's Veil recently, so because of that though, yeah, let's get this thing to it with, Donkey Kong Jungle, and of course we'll try our best if we're able to actually just try to not only get some more stars as possible, well, to be more specifically, more stars throughout the whole world, but also just try our best if we're able to actually get ourselves every single present throughout the whole game, because, well, yeah, because here's the thing, is the fact that obviously to obtain the stars, like I said earlier, is the fact that you have to be fast, and also you can't afford to mess it up on the second segment, and also on top of that, you have to obtain every single present throughout, so that way you would be able to actually just to guarantee to get a star if possible. So, yeah, as you can tell, that we actually stumbled across these familiar piranha plants, well, at least as far as I can usually think about it, and as a result, you have to be very careful with that spitting projectiles at you, so because of that though, you're gonna have to pay attention to that particular attack. So, there we go, that concludes the first level right here, even though I did a bit quicker, even though I was expecting if I was going to go extremely fast, but despite the fact that I somehow managed to almost drop for about a few seconds notice, but oh well, no big deal. So, anyways, so it's time to do the actual bonus game again. So hopefully I could be able to try to aim for the 2 ups, so hopefully I'm also able to do this. And there we go, that pretty much deals the job from this point right here. Hooray! Anyway, a few things I want to explain about the forms of today's discussion is the fact that today's day is the forms of the 4th of November today, in this case in 2021 today. And as a result, during the forms of tomorrow is going to be the bonfire night tomorrow. Specifically the fireworks display tomorrow as well. So because of that though, I'm actually pretty excited to see how these fireworks are actually going to turn out for the sake of the forms of this year in particular. So because of that though, at least I was expecting they were able to actually bring something more related to, or to be more specifically related to James Bond kind of theme with that particular fireworks display, because of the forms of No Time to Die just came out on the forms of the cinema screen. But now I'm really hoping to wait for the forms of the DVD release now, which it might be expecting to come out until next year for 2022, specifically in the beginning, so, but I digress. And, also another thing as well is the fact that I don't suppose that some Toy Sales hasn't mentioned about this either. About the fact the matter is though is that, yeah, unfortunately though, for the sake of the forms of the actual recent announcement during the forms of about a few days ago, and especially noticeable because obviously now we're finally able to actually access to, you know, the Sega Mega Drive games, in addition to the Nintendo 64 games now finally coming to the Switch Online membership service. Unfortunately though, the actual dislike ratio on the actual overview trailer, that it just somehow once again got a lot of dislikes for this point. I think it's pretty obvious because the pricing is way too much, especially noticeable. It's like double the price amount compared to the forms of how it does it on the regular Nintendo Switch Online membership services price. So as a result though, specifically back in the day, it usually cost about likely almost 18 quid, whilst now, during the forms of the expansion pack, it doubles up into almost 35 quid, which is a bit too much for most people out there, myself included. Especially, though I was really looking forward to able to try it out you know, Dr. Mario 64 for the first time ever during the course of the European country. Like, usually because it only came out on North America, specifically the original cartridge version of the game, and the Chinese version for the IQ version of the actual whole thing, which turns out it's all translated to Chinese and stuff like that, which is probably true for that particular circumstances anyway, so, but unfortunately though, I didn't seem able to actually can't be bothered able to not only try to actually try out Dr. Mario 64 for the first time in my life, but also I can't be able to actually play online stuff from the sake of Mario Kart 64, sadly, because, well, I was really looking forward to it, but unfortunately though, due to this very disgustingly overly priced price tag for that particular expansion pack and stuff like that, yeah, unfortunately though, playing those N64 games on the go, as well as the forms of trying to play certain stuff online for, you know, Mario Kart 64 for the first time, and it's not gonna happen, sadly, just because of this very disgusting price tag, because as a result, it's too much. It's way too much there. But I digress. And, also, with the forms of another thing I want to discuss upon, and that's, of course, in addition to able to actually have ourselves the overview trailer just came up about a few days ago, but also that the Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct is already up, for the sake of the 15th of October, and they actually mentioned quite a number of things on that particular Direct, such as, for instance, more friends is now invited, and also, although it's kind of hard to explain about the forms of some specific stuff, mainly because I haven't played that much of Animal Crossing these days, although from what I've heard, the series, though, is actually pretty popular every now and then, especially after that massive boost sales for the sake of, you know, Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch. And as a result, though, that, although if I've noticed that one particular familiar furniture that finally makes its return after, well, let's just say New Leaf or something like that, which appears to be the Frocko chair, which as a result, it does look pretty cool, though, from the actual HD standpoint this time around, which is pretty cool in theory, so... Oh, dang it! I wasn't paying attention, especially noticeable it's bad enough that those birds are usually comes back now. So because of that though, yeah, remember those kinds of birds, enemies ever since during the course of Donkey Kong 94 game? They are back and, well, they kind of feels a bit pessimistic and stuff like that. So, hopefully we'll try to once again try to dodge his attacks, specifically when he starts to drop his eggs and stuff like that. There's also another variation of those kinds of birds later on throughout the game. So even then though, although mind you, there might be only 2 variations of certain bird-like enemies, like the one we've already stumbled across into in the jungle world, but until if we get into the next world at some point in next Tuesday, then we should probably expect to see the actual dangerous variation of that particular bird-like enemy, which as a result, that you'll probably will find out during at some point or another, so... Also, I just realized something, is the fact that, obviously, this is the 4th of November today, in this case in 2021, so this means happy 10th anniversary of the release of Sonic Generations in the UK countries. So, yeah, I can't even believe it's been 10 years ago now. Although, mind you, in North America, it already become 10 years old recently, so because of that, though, yeah, I can't even believe the game is now 10 years old, and I managed able to actually just to somehow... managed able to enjoy the game still, both on the Xbox 360, as well as the PlayStation 3 version, even though, mind you, I've still only got about 1 achievement left for both versions, which is the hardest one of the bunch, which is can't touch this achievement, so... Alright, so let's see... I didn't get anything, so... Oh well, whatever, at least I only got 23 lives, so... Alright, so here we go on to level 2-5, that we got ourselves the familiar mechanic ever since in Donkey Kong 94, along with Donkey Kong Jr., that if you try to climb onto those vines, as you can see, and then if you touch the fruit, then basically the fruit will start to drop, and then that will be the best advice for you if you're about to take down these kinds of enemies, specifically the Rhino, and along with the forms of that particular Muncher-like enemies that is trying to climb onto the vines, because in addition to able to actually just to kill them, but also just get additional points as well, if you really want to get your opportunities to able to, you know, get the next star and stuff like that. So, that might be something worth a while for able to just, you know, concentrate on something. So, there we go. We managed to complete that segment. And now we move on to the second segment, which is pretty short from the looks of it though. Even though, mind you, we still need to be very careful because, again, if you get touched by an enemy, you die instantly. So, yeah, that might be something worth a while for able to actually just to, well, oh my god, that was really close. Because I was gonna get myself screwed over if I somehow get touched by that particular enemy over there. But luckily though, we've managed to get all 3 presents, and in addition to that, we also managed to save another Mini Mario. So we've only got 1 Mini Mario left for, you know, this particular world. So, once again, we are playing the actual shovel-like presents kind of game. Which, I know we played that one a lot, apparently, which I know for the fact that I just have no idea why we stumbled across this bonus game super easily, but either way, though, it knows what it is, so. And I believe I'm also able to get some more extra lives, specifically 2 1-ups, so that'll be all deal. So, now let's move on to level 2-6, where basically now we need to able to toss certain enemies on certain spikes that are able to help you to go across the spikes. So, yeah, that should be worth a while to able to actually just figure that out though. So, I guess there's not much else I can say. Oh, apart from the fact that, well, in addition to able to actually have a finally makes its return for the Froggo chair, in this case the most adorable furniture I've ever seen, but also, get this, we got ourselves the actual DLC for the sake of Animal Crossing New Horizons, which appears to be Animal Crossing New Horizons Happy Home Paradise. Wait a second, does that name sound a bit too familiar to you? Although, to be fair though, it's on the Nintendo Switch, or mind you, because either way though, it might be hard to explain. But the actual title of that DLC name, it kind of feels a bit slightly similar to Happy Home Designer for the 3DS, except the fact that, well, relatively speaking, instead of being on the 3DS again, instead it's now on the Switch, although it usually calls it a different name, which is Happy Home Paradise. So I guess that's like a cool name to have. So, for a DLC anyway, even though, mind you, I haven't exactly experienced that much of Animal Crossing stuff as much, because usually it's not my cup of tea or anything, so I might be biased, but still. And I just get the feeling that we might need to able to activate certain switches until we're able to get ourselves the last present here, which is of course the yellow present, and we need to duck as soon as we can, because obviously, oh jeez Louise, man. I don't think there's anything else we can do higher up though, or I don't think we can able to go higher up, so I think we might as well able to go back down for a bit and then activate the yellow switch, and then that way I could able to go in a quicker way if possible. So there we go, I think that should probably do it. Come on, there we go. Oh man, that was something. But, honestly guys, there's not much else I can talk about. Oh, apart from the fact that that particular DLC, like I mentioned earlier, for the likes of Happy Home Paradise, for Animal Crossing New Horizons, is going to be releasing tomorrow. So, yeah, that'll keep Animal Crossing fans out there will be happy about it. Although, mind you, not my cup of tea. So, yeah, I apologize if I'm still a little bit more enthusiastic about this. Especially noticeable because, honestly, there's not much else to talk about aside from that. So, alright, so once again, we're going on to the Mini Mario stage. And once again, we still need to able to collect TOY stands for toy and stuff like that. Which, yeah, that's sure it's something worth noting for. And of course, we need to just, you know, go to the left here and then just do all that. Yeah, I do apologize if my commentary gets a little bit awkward, especially noticeable, because honestly guys, there's not much else I can talk about for this particular point right there. Especially noticeable because, usually relatively speaking, we're still on the 11th month right now, so we might potentially able to actually just to continuously uploading, not only just for this, but also, I believe Jewel was almost trying to able to finishing up with Mario Party 6, so after we're done with that, then we might as well take a break on Mario Party games for a little while. And probably we might as well go back to Mario Kart series of games. Although, mind you, except for one particular game we're not going to touch upon is Mario Kart Tour, because, well, you know what I mean. Alright, so here we go with the next Donkey Kong fight, and basically we need to drop those fruits right back at him. And basically you have to use the vines to, well, climb onto the top here, and that's all you have to do in this battle. So, again, pretty easy when you get the hang of it though, although, dang it, I somehow screwed this up, so we'll just retry that again. Even though I was able to actually lose a life in the process, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll get more at some point, so... Alright, so basically it's have to, like, just do this, and then the only trickiest part about this is the fact that you have to be so precise with all that, you know, just trying to dodge these little muncher-like enemies, I don't know what you call them, although it's like a cramp trap or something, but either way though, once again, just 4 hits on him, even though despite the fact that he moves extremely fast sometimes, thanks to that moving platform, although thankfully we did manage to finish him off, just like that. But thankfully, at least it did took me about 2 attempts on that particular boss fight right here, especially that I really want able to get certain stars requirements to able to unlock certain things, so... Anyway, so that pretty much concludes World 2, which is of course Donkey Kong Jungle, and sure enough, we got the final star, so yeah, pretty cool. So now we move on to the next world, which is probably my favorite world, honestly.
Come back here, you big monkey!
Ah, you're so funny, you are. So anyways, join me next time on Let's Play Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and that is the fact that we are moving on to Fire Mountain. So this will be interesting. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Later, fellas.